Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Let me know if you guys can hear me here in the chat. Merry Christmas Eve to everybody. The market is still looking a little bit sideways, not really moving much. We have super low volume today. Before I go on further, I just want to mention I am not a financial advisor. This is just entertainment purposes only. So always got to make sure you do your own due diligence before ever investing in any stock or the crypto market in general. Let me know if you guys have any questions down below as well. Right now, XRP still trading right around that $1.86, so that is still currently still in the game from what I've been talking about last 2 or 3 days here on the short term about the inverted head and shoulders. Yeah, right now is very short term though. A lot of people's looking at short term. Hey Tony, how's it going? Yeah, right now everything is very short term, so that's kind of what I'm watching right here. Yeah, right now we're still in the running for the $1.85 movement with the inverted head and shoulders. Still playing out, guys, so I wouldn't be worrying too much about that unless we see a massive drop tomorrow. We're getting closer to actually squeezing. So as we get closer to squeezing, that's going to be even better for us here on the short term. Right now, also you got Bitcoin and Ethereum also doing very similar price action as well. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to the market. Super low volume. That is probably the biggest thing that's really impacting us right now. We're not having much volume at all. If you guys are just now tuning in, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also comment down below. Good morning, Duct Tape. Good morning, Tony. Merry Christmas Eve, everybody. Merry Christmas Eve. Also on the 15-minute, we're also seeing very sudden moves just like we've seen here. Really, really good price action here on the short term, though. We got some really good price action on the short term, so I'm not too worried about it. We just need that volume to kind of rise on, the United States market along with Asia, all them other markets as well. Definitely when their market opens and closes. Let me know what you guys think down below. Right now, we do got tons of volume coming in. I expect more volume overall throughout Christmas going into the new year. We do got tax harvesting. Tax harvesting is probably the biggest downfall right now that we're seeing in the crypto market. You're seeing even Trump coin being down to just $4.88, being pretty bearish ever since it launched. Also, Dogecoin is currently down today. The only green coins are Pepe and Shiba Inu, and they're only up roughly around 1%. Oh, yeah, yeah. Everybody's kind of waiting and watching right now. Definitely on the short term with XRP. I still got big expectations coming, even on Bitcoin. We're seeing similarities as well. You can see pretty big candle wicks here on the short term just within the last 15 minutes to the hour. We also moved up a little bit yesterday, up closer back above to 95. That was an anticipation breaking up that resistance. So the next leg back up probably will be a lot quicker and probably will have a lot more movement to it as well. Same with H bar, guys. I think H bar is getting ready to see another squeeze unless we see it kind of drop back down. If the market don't drop, I think H bar is going to see a pretty good 5 to 10% move very quickly. We just really need that volume to kind of come in. Stellar Lumens, that's another coin that's doing something very similar. Solana has been taking big hits lately. I mean, if you take a look at the 4-hour chart, ever since around September, it's been pretty much on a downfall ever since it hit the 253. Yeah, so there's pretty big movement coming in behind Solana as well. Solana meme coins have really started to tank as well on a lot of different meme coins. There's been less searching on altcoins, crypto, meme coins in general. That usually indicates a bear market, as well as people will FOMO back in whenever we start to see this pump again. Once we really start to kind of pump like we did back in the start of Q1 and Q2 of 2025, you'll see a lot of people kind of FOMO back in. And then you'll kind of see like this bear market that we've seen here shortly. If you guys are just now tuning in, make sure you guys hit that like button. It really does help out the channel. It also helps the community grow. Yeah, with XRP, though, guys, we're still on that inverted head and shoulders. Just still kind of watching it play out. I mean, it's taking forever. This is the 4-hour candles. Ever since we had that $1.95, we've had roughly almost 2 days just within a few moves here. We're right there, right where we're either going to break the trend, drop down below and tank, or we're getting ready to see that uptrend. I say we'll probably see this movement within the next 24 hours, if not sooner. Christmas is usually something that we can judge based off of, let's see, let's go back to last year. Last year's Christmas. So this was right about to Christmas time. So 23rd of December last year, that weekly candle was pretty volatile. XRP went from $2 all the way up to a high of around 240s. This was something that we had seen previously and also something we've seen in the past. So I'm expecting we're going to see some pretty big weekly candlesticks coming until the end of the year. And if you kind of go back, let's take a look at the daily because that'll give us better insight here on the short term. So today is the 24th. You can see on the 24th we had a little green candle, and on the 25th we had a little green candle. So there is some movement there, and then we started to see bearish for the end of the year. That is kind of what we see in general, definitely with the holidays. So much volume and volatility that comes behind it, guys, so you can kind of see the waves. If we follow kind of the same trend that we did last year, we'll more than likely have 2 green days today and tomorrow. We'll probably start to see some more volume, but guys, if we start to tank, we are going to see pretty big drops. If we break below this trend line here, because this trend line is going to go all the way back to October of last year. So this is going to be something that is huge. So there's going to be a pretty big downfall if we continue. If we drop, I would expect to $1.60, $1.70. But if we break back out, I think we're going to retest at 228, 230 like we seen previously last year around this same time. There's not a lot of leverage and stuff right now, so that's another thing that we have to take into consideration. So let me show you guys here. The crypto market cap is still sitting around the 2.94 trillion with trading volume of just around 86 billion, which is pretty low. Most of the time, our volume is going to be much higher than what we see today. You can also see that we're still in Bitcoin season at 18 out of 100. The crypto fear and greed index is sitting around 27 out of 100, getting closer back to that extreme fear that we had seen previously. Look at the crypto ETF net flows. So on the 21st, we had negative 142 million on Bitcoin. We was positive 84.6 million on Ethereum. But on the 21st, we was still negative 57.6 million in the ETF's net flow. Also, you can see here yesterday was a pretty bad day on the 22nd. We was negative 284.1 million on the ETF net flow chart. That is something that is huge. Roughly around 188.6 million on Bitcoin. Ethereum was 95.5 million in the red. You can see within the last 30 days, you're seeing a lot more red of the ETF net flow than we are seeing positive. The biggest positive day we seen was on December 16th with around 458.6 million added to Bitcoin. But I'm pretty sure that was going to be due to Michael Saylor. The open interest for perpetuals is still going to be around 754.83 billion. Bitcoin dominance is still 59.1% with Ethereum being 12% still. So this is something to kind of pay attention to. When we peaked on the crypto market cap this year, we was roughly around 4.28 trillion, and we're currently at 2.94 trillion. So we've lost almost 1.3 trillion dollars in market cap, which is huge. That is like a whole Amazon stock. So that is something that is huge. Remember, none of this is financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. It's just entertainment purposes only. In the last 24 hours, they've been around 90,000 traders got liquidated, and it's roughly around 182.89 million. Within the last hour, only been around $7 million worth of liquidations. So we're not really seeing much movement, guys. So there's not a lot of people kind of trading right now. Less traders being liquidated. But you can see the 24-hour trading volume is currently down right around 14.6%. If you guys are just now tuning in, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. Hitting the like button really does help out the stream. Also helps the community grow. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask down below. Let me know if there is any issues along with the stream as well. Let me know if there's any delays or any lag or anything so I can try to fix it for the future streams. Yeah, we're not seeing like any trading volume right now. We're not seeing much inflow. Let's take a look at the 1 minute chart, kind of ride the 1 minute for a second here. Yeah, XRP's been super struggling last little bit. I've been kind of watching XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. Still looks like it's kind of trying to leg down here on the short term. We're not really seeing much price action either, and it's pretty rough here on the short term. Yeah, you can tell here on the 1 minute we're struggling. Even on the weekly, you can see we've been pretty bearish ever since July 2025. We're seeing that on a lot of cryptos, not just XRP. Stellar Lumens is another one. Stellar Lumens been on the downtrend since around the same as XRP. We had a nice little pump here, but we started to reject it very quickly. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, Duct Tape. I don't think we're going to see much real volume or volatility until the next year. We're probably going to have a good little pump before the end of the year, and then we'll probably struggle in quarter one. I think quarter one next year, we're going to still be trying to find the footing. You got prediction markets taking mainly a lot of the volume right now. So prediction markets are really the one that's really holding up. Yeah. You can tell there's just like no volume. Let's go to the 15-second chart so it moves a little bit quicker here for us. Because you can see there's like not enough buys and sells. A lot of the market makers making a lot of money. I say either tonight or probably tomorrow we'll probably see a little bit of volume. I say it's going to come right behind Christmas. Yeah, right now prediction markets, a lot of sports betting is going on. A lot of people's not really worried about crypto. Crypto search volume has tanked a lot ever since the prediction markets kind of popped off. Yeah, we're not seeing much well activity either. Right now, there's like no well activity. I've been kind of waiting to try to see if we're going to see any whales start moving money around, but no, we're not really seeing any today. This is probably the lowest volume we've had, even on weekends, in probably 6 months. The ride for Bitcoin right now is very short term. Poly market's been doing good. Prediction markets have. James Wynn's been liquidated. If you guys know him from crypto Twitter, I'm still bullish on crypto long term. I still think we're going to see some regulations and stuff too. Kyle, usually not. Usually the volume isn't this low. We've been seeing a lot of retail moving over to prediction markets, and prediction markets are coming to crypto exchanges like Coinbase, so it's making it harder for it to just focus just on crypto. That is honestly the biggest thing that we see, definitely within like crypto winter and these bear markets in general. Is you'll notice that there is a lot of traders kind of moving money around, but you'll see them move over to the new thing. Like I remember when NFTs first come out, I remember crypto's volume tanked. Prediction markets are really starting to pop off, and it's becoming a little bit more saturated. The saturation is probably a negative thing when it comes to the amount of trading volume. But once crypto really starts to, settle down, set its footing, and start pumping again, a lot of those people will FOMO. We will have volume for 3 to 6 months, and then it'll slow back down like this. Crypto winter usually does bring lower volume, but like during the bull market, we would be moving way faster than this, much faster than this. With it being the holidays, I do think we're seeing a little bit more less volume today, but that's to be expected. But I say sometime today it'll pop off. Because like the trading volume right now is only like 80 to 100 billion. Usually it's sitting around 200 billion on a good day. On the bull days, it's usually 300 to 600 billion, if not more. Those are when it really gets good. Stellar Lumen's down pretty bad today. Stellar Lumen's been really taking a hit. It's pulled back quite a bit from the high back in November last year. Then just the last year, it's down 67%. XRP back then wasn't as much either. So from the peak in July for XRP is only down right around 50% in 161 days. The inverted head and shoulders is still in the play, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Until we drop and hold on the daily and the 4 hours below the 185, we should be in good shape. We're right at the level where we could easily bounce and pop off. I would love to see that. If you guys are just now tuning in, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. It really does help out. Look at Solana. Solana's seeing less volume too. And Solana had pretty good little catalyst. It got put on Coinbase for the Solana meme coins. That was one of the biggest catalysts that could have been for it, and it didn't really help Solana at all. Pretty big red candle right here. Probably had a whale sale somewhere. Look at that. Pretty big red candle here on the 15-second chart. Pretty big red candle coming right behind it. Yeah, there's some big red candles coming. Looks like same on Solana, same with Litecoin. Let's check on gold and silver. Gold and silver is down 0.3% today, which ain't too bad. Could be a lot worse. Yeah, I agree with you. It doesn't really keep up with the ETF demand. I mean, even with the ETF demand, I mean, like last night, I think it was only like 8 million worth of XRP. It's a slow grind on the way up, but once we start to see more volume and purchases with ETFs, that could be something better. I guarantee once we see some FOMO coming in, those ETFs will pop off. I think the next bull run will be different than the last one. I hope we get to see an altcoin season, but it's looking very unlikely right now. It looks like we're going into crypto winter pretty quickly. Even looks like Chainlink's moved down a little bit more today. Solana, pretty big red right there. Ethereum, Bitcoin, seeing similarities. Take a look at Cardano, because Cardano's been hitting pretty big red today. Look at that, roughly around that 35-cent range. Same with Trump coin. Lost so much money on Trump coin. Look at that, that's crazy. It's down literally 90% just within like 339 days. Oh, yeah. Once we start to see some utility, also see some of that volume coming back from the prediction markets when a lot of the sports betting calms down, I really do think that we're going to start to see all-time highs again on some of these altcoins. I think it's going to be a little bit different and a little saturated this time. We're seeing a lot of catalysts coming in along with like the SEC's new regulations and all that, trying to work it out. That is honestly the roughest part about it right now, is we don't really know what's going to happen when it comes to regulations, and that could be something that makes or break crypto. You know, it's getting super close. We've had a lot of big news this year within crypto in general. I think it's going to be harder to make those 10 to 100 X's, but I still think there's a lot of momentum up on the upside. I still think there's some undervalued coins. If you guys are just now tuning in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. You also got Stellar Lumens. Look at that. Down 2.5% today. Onyx Coins down pretty bad. It's been struggling ever since it peaked. The peak on it was crazy. Had nice big gains on it. You can see it's down also like 90%. It was doing super good when Trump Coin was. When Trump Coin was pumping, that coin was pumping. Yeah, it really is going to make a difference. If we see good regulations on it, I think more people will move over to crypto. But there's so many things with crypto that can like negatively impact a investor's experience, such as like rug pulls, the volatility. Like you got to think with stocks, most of the time, a lot of stuff if it moves 5%, they're panicking. In the crypto market, we move 5 to 10% almost every day. When I first started in crypto, we would pump 10 to 20% a day. Then the next day you would be down 20 to 30%. Like it was so volatile. That's what I prefer though. I like the volatility. I like the volume. It's just a high risk reward game. You got to be able to get in, hold, also go through the bear markets. The last bear market was like 1,060 days. So you got to think there's a lot of movement. Still trading around that $1.85. I still think that inverted head and shoulders is into play. When it does break out, I think it's going to shake a lot of people. Hopefully we don't see much liquidations coming behind it though. The liquidations are something that is also affecting a lot of the market because a lot of the times it pumps super quick, liquidates everybody, and then starts trying to liquidate the shorts right behind it. So somebody's always having to take a risk. Because you guys remembered what happened in October of 2025, the U.S. tariff hike on China. That was probably our biggest liquidation of all time. And it liquidated within a 24-hour period $19 billion. That is a lot of liquidations. I remember they were like 300, 400,000 traders that got liquidated. They was people who was holding futures trades, got liquidated within like 10 minutes, and they've been holding it for like months. The last monthly expiration of the options on Bitcoin and Ethereum did knock us down a little bit. I still think that this is a little bearish right here. If we don't see that double bottom, I mean, this is kind of what I'm hoping for. Right here is that double bottom. So we kind of see like this on Bitcoin, pushing back to that 94,000. But if we honestly follow a pattern that's kind of like this, where it comes back up, I think we're going to see that, and then we're going to try to make that W here, pushing back up. But with the inverted head and shoulders on XRP, I still think if we continue that same route, we're going to see a similarity pattern, trying to push back to at least the 210s, depending on if Bitcoin plays out this position or drops down below. So if it closes today below that 84,000, that will be invalid. Same with the XRP inverted head and shoulders, and we'll probably tank, I say, about 3 to 5% very quickly on it. So that's something to kind of watch out for the next few days. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask down below, and make sure you guys hit that like button, as it really does help out the channel. But yeah, XRP right now is really struggling. Wow, pretty big green candle right here. Super nice. Super nice green candle here. It's wicking. Here we go. Here's some volume, guys. Here's some volume. Looks like we're catching the volume right in time. If you guys are just now tuning in, make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe. Really does help out. As of right now, there was 4 votes on my poll, and 2 people says it's going to pump, 2 people says it's going to dump. Look at that. Pretty nice green candles here. Hopefully we can continue this momentum for the inverted head and shoulders. Yeah, it does look like this volume's coming in pretty hot. Also on Bitcoin. Look at Bitcoin. 2 big green candles here. Hopefully we continue, but if we continue to see this double bottom, I honestly think we're going to break back out, move up around 5%. That would be super nice. That would also help the inverted head and shoulders kind of start its breakout period on XRP. Same with Bitcoin. But yeah, hopefully we can stay in this trend here. Oh yeah, duct tape. That's kind of how I try to look at it too. That I'm set up in a good way anyways, no matter what happens. We're going to get our good entries and our exits, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. Remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm just a guy that does technical analysis and fundamental analysis on cryptos. Taking a look at the 15-minute, you can see that the 15-minute is also looking like a doji candle. If we don't see a big movement here soon, that could be a bigger expectation for us here, as we could turn around. With us being bearish on that time frame, we're more than likely, if we do see that doji candle play out, we'll see a little bit of green. So this is going to be something that's really going to test the crypto market here on the short term. It may bring out some alerts. Once exchanges start sending out alerts like Bitcoin hitting 88,000, Ethereum 3,000, XRP 190, that is when a lot of retail will start looking back at their phone and start, moving some money around, trying to get some trades in, definitely with the holidays. Yeah, Tony, I agree with you. I think we're going to see quarter 1 kind of be a little bit rough, but that is kind of to expect right now. I expect that. But we got 6 out of 12 interest rates. So that is something that is going to be key. If that continues the way that we're seeing it today, I honestly think we're going to break out of this period. Yeah, duct tape. Once we break out of that, I think we're in good shape. I think we'll be in good shape. Yeah, it looks like Bitcoin's seeing a big red, so hopefully we don't start to tank. We had a pretty nice green candlestick right there, started to kind of run. I'm gonna take a look at some of these liquidation levels and see if we're seeing any major moves here. It looks like they were some longs liquidated on Bitcoin worth around 10 million right there, just in that one little pump. XRP on the longs there only had $54,000 worth of longs liquidated. Which ain't too bad. In a 24-hour period, only 3 million worth of longs. So XRP, it looks like a lot of people have less leverage used. So bigger moves will have to happen before they get liquidated. Yeah, it looks like we just had some small volume there, but looks like the volume's cooling back off. Same on Bitcoin and Ethereum, but that was a nice little leg up. Kind of get us excited, get us moving again. Hello, everybody. I am back. So yeah. Right now we're still looking like we got some green candles. Very low volume coming in. Looks like Bitcoin's retesting that same level. Same with Ethereum. Yeah, you can tell Bitcoin's moving. Same with XRP. Want to wish everybody still here a Merry Christmas Eve. I hope everybody's Christmas going pretty good this year. Yeah, it also looks like trading volume's still down quite a bit. If you guys haven't, make sure you guys hit that like button and comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Yeah, hopefully we can see a little bit of a breakout today. Look at Pepe. Pepe's looking pretty good. Solana's moved up a little bit. Same with BNB. BNB's kind of pumped a little bit here. Ethereum Classic's not really moved. Wow, silver's pumping. Gold's moved up quite a bit today. It was down about 0.5% earlier. We probably got some volume coming in. Hopefully it's ain't a double top forming on the 1 minute. Let's see. Still looking pretty bearish here on the short term with how much volume's coming in. We're down 15.49% on the trading volume, which is huge. Open interest right now is only 127.99 billion, currently down 1% since yesterday. Altcoin season still indicating Bitcoin season. We've had $61 billion liquidated in Bitcoin in 24 hours and $51 billion in Ethereum. Yeah, open interest ain't too good. Most of the interest right now is on Bitcoin. XRP only has 3.49 billion, which is pretty low. Just pretty low from where we usually stand here. Looking at some of this data. Solana coins ain't really moving too much. The trading volume is down a lot. Looks like a pretty big red coming back on XRP. Looks like it might be a double top. Hopefully we don't break below this moving average. Holding above this moving average would be best case scenario. Pepe's not moving too much. Trump coin's not really had any volume. H-bar had a nice little pump coming from that little move on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Looks like silver's turning around here. Anybody in here trade precious metals? Yeah, yeah. Metals are really high right now. They're hitting all time high every single day. Like, look at this. We've been buying gold for a while. Yeah, yeah. You can see we've been buying gold for quite a while. Made some pretty good profit here, 44% within 392 days. Currently, our position we're still holding is roughly up around 60% so far on it. Super nice. Same with silver. Uh, we sell silver and gold more. Yeah, yeah, like futures and actual like metal and hand, Kyle. Mikey said, "What happened to you?" I really just quit streaming. You know, I don't always stream unless it's like a bull market. Yeah, yeah, I really do think that we're going to see a correction in precious metals too. I mean, a lot of people's been taking profits on it, but you know, the uncertainty of the market is still pretty high, so everybody is leveraging gold and silver. I'm always still active on the Discord, Mikey. If you ever join the Discord, pretty active through there. Within the hour, I still think we're seeing that inverted head and shoulders pattern. Same with Ethereum. I still think that we got some upside potential. Bitcoin similarity. If we see that double bottom pattern play out, I think we'll be in good shape. This double bottom could be a good indication for a short term move coming on Christmas. So, tomorrow, pretty much, I'm still anticipating within the next 24 hours that we're going to see a big move on Bitcoin and XRP. It's going to either be up on the upside or the downside. You got higher percentage on the upside right now than you do on the downside due to the RSI, the fundamentals, along with a lot of the technicals. It really just depends on whenever we start to see this trading volume pop off. Trading volume right now is just super low. 88 billion is pretty low. We usually don't see that within a 24-hour period. Most of the time it's like crypto winter. So crypto winter right now is probably one of the biggest things that's kind of scaring a lot of new people kind of getting into the market. As if you go based off of the previous cycles in 2013, 2017, 2021, and what it looked like today, that there is possibility that there is a downfall. Yeah, Bitcoin looks like that's meeting right there at a double top. Ethereum's looking pretty good. I would like to see a little bit of volume coming in for Christmas Eve. Still, liquidations aren't too bad. We're still in Bitcoin season. 19 out of 100, so we moved up one. Fear and greed index still indicating fear. $2.95 trillion market cap with Bitcoin dominance 59.1%. Yeah, pretty big red candle right there. Same with Ethereum. Not really moving too much. Out of 9 votes, it looks like 3 people has indicated that they think it's going to dump. I would like to see that Christmas pump though. We go back to the daily chart. Go back to this time last year. You'll notice that there was a pump last year on the 24th and the 25th. Find it here. Yeah, right here. Yeah, there's a pump from looks like 220 all the way up to around the 234. So nice little move. Had 2 bullish days, and then we had some red days coming all the way till January 1st. And then I think January 1st at night we seen a major pump. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping we see this double bottom pumping us back to that 210 on the daily. Would be nice to see that very quickly here on the short term. We still have 8 hours before the daily candlestick closes. You're also seeing a similarity on Bitcoin as well, which is huge. If Bitcoin moves up, I think a lot of these altcoins will move along with it. I think that's when we'll start to see that volume come in. Looks like pretty big red here. Let's go to the 15-second, kind of watch it. Yeah, the ETF net flow on XRP only moved $8 million last night. It's had around $1 billion worth of volume so far. That's since the XRP ETF went live. So it's not moved too much. SHX coin? Nah, I've never really heard about it, Kyle. Yeah, I don't know anything about that coin. That's the first time I've heard about that. Is it like a meme coin or is it like a coin that's kind of upcoming, getting closer to the top 100 coins? Yeah, I don't really know much stellar based coins. That's probably why. Most of the smaller cap coins that I deal with is on the Solana blockchain. A lot of the Solana meme coins, I don't really deal much with uh, other utility coins like the XRP memes, Stellar memes, Ethereums. I mean, I trade like Chainlink, on Ethereum, but that's about it. If they're not like up and coming or gaining tons of traction, I usually don't mess with low cap coins anymore. But I'll take a look at it at the end of the stream. If you guys are just now tuning in, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. Right now, XRP is still going very slow pace. We're not really seeing much price action here on the short term. Bitcoin's volume, Ethereum, and XRP's volume today is super low. With a nice little pump there on the 1 minute chart, but right now it's just been too back and forth, slow pressure. It's slow cooking right now. We have only $80 billion in trading volume in 24 hours, and that is pretty low. That is really low at the moment. I still think that we're going to see maybe a pump, but I say within the next 24 hours, we're either going to pump or we're going to dump. We're going to see one of those kind of start to kind of play out. Yeah, we're right here, right on the bottom of the inverted head and shoulders. So we're getting super close. I would like to see it kind of see that breakout period. That would give us a good Yeah, it looked like some well activity just come through. Look at that. Pretty big little bounce right here on the short term. That looked pretty clean. If you are just now tuning in, make sure you hit that like button. It really does help out the channel. Also helps the community grow. Let me know if there's anything you want me to take a look at. Yeah, really, right now on the ETFs, I mean, we've been pretty bearish on the ETFs. I can pull up the ETF net flow for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and it's actually substantially pretty low. As you can kind of see it here, even yesterday we had negative $189 million in Bitcoin's ETF. We had negative 96 million in Ethereum's ETF. You can see we've only been pretty much bullish on the ETFs, maybe 7 days out of the 30 days this month. So you can kind of see, like the other day we had 458 million green in Bitcoin ETFs, but Ethereum was still negative. And you're seeing we're losing pretty much all of it. Like this day was 358 million in the red, then 279 million in the red. That was before we seen the big jump in Bitcoin ETF. But I think that was from Michael Saylor. Within the last week, the ETF net flow was negative 503 million US dollars. In the last month, we're only green 294. On XRP's ETF, we're only moved roughly around 1 billion so far. Last night was only 8 million US dollars. So it wasn't really much movement within the XRP ETFs. But I'm hoping that we end up seeing kind of like a squeeze with the ETFs whenever we see the next bull run. That will give a lot more people. It will give a lot more people a lot more upside potential. The XRP ETFs don't really have much on them. There's only like a few places. Let me see if I can get. Yeah, yesterday it looked like it was 0.87% market change on the ETF, so it was red on the day yesterday at 8 million US dollars. They own roughly around 121 million XRP inside of the trust. Their shares outstanding is 6.2 million. Honestly, not looking too good there. The largest group with the ETFs on XRP is Canary, though, and they own roughly 335.8 million so far. And then 21 shares owns 257 million. Yeah, there's not too much. There's only 12 ETFs that have XRP listed right now. Looks like only 12. Yeah, I was hoping we'd get altcoin season much quicker than we have. A lot of people's been expecting altcoin season to be a lot better than what we've seen today. Yeah, you can see on the 1 minute, we're not really moving that much. It is Christmas Eve, though, so that is something else we have to take in consideration. Alrighty, I wish everybody has a Merry Christmas tomorrow. I might be live tomorrow too. I'm going to be going live almost every single day, so make sure you guys do tune in for it. If you guys haven't, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Check out the links down below in the description. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section or ask down below. And I'll do my best to be able to get back with you and answer them. Hope everybody has a great Merry Christmas Eve, and hopefully tomorrow is a good Merry Christmas for everybody. Thank you guys for watching.